Welcome back. Now, employers cannot afford to take the back seat in the worsening crisis of gender-based violence. These are the sentiments of the South African gaming company Better Bets. The company says workers who are victims of GBV end up unable to fulfill their duties. Now, to find out how employers can help curb the scourge, I'm joined by Smita Narsi, who is the head of CSI at Better Bets. Smita, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, as we've mentioned, GBV is a scourge that is taking away so much from our society. How much of an impact does it have in the workplace?
GBV has a massive impact in the workplace. A company like ours, where we have 70% of our staff being female, we have a moral obligation to support these women. Things like having to take special leave for emotional support, for medical assistance, for trauma counseling. And so we call upon a lot more businesses to do something about it. At the end of the day, it affects bottom line, it affects the economy, and more than anything, our women need the help.
Most certainly. I mean, despite a plethora of government-initiated white papers, blue papers, marches, slogans, special courts, even legislative changes, we are not seeing much of a change when it comes to GBV. What, in your opinion, is the cause of us not being able to make headway with regards to GBV, and now that it's impacting the workplace?
So if you look at a victim, her perpetrator is often her spouse or her partner. And what often happens is that they are isolated. They're completely isolated. They're taken away from family, friends, anybody that they would feel safe enough to approach, to reach out to and get the help that they need. The only place where a victim is allowed to come forward and is allowed a little bit of freedom is in the workplace. And this places businesses in such an ideal position to have an impact and to intervene and to reach out to the women who are there suffering. And this is exactly what we are trying to do at Better Bets. We're trying to create safe spaces in our company to make it safe for a victim to come forward, to speak and reach out for help, to put together all of the correct support structures in place so that it's easily accessible. And the reason why it's failing from a government perspective is simply because it's just too big a task. And like I said, businesses are ideally placed because that is where a woman is allowed to be a little bit free. That is where she can come forward and reach out for help. And that puts us in a moral obligation as South African businesses, where we have the highest rate of GBV, to make that change, to provide a safe space, to give access to women and victims the resources that they need to get the help that they need.
You speak of these safe spaces and the resources. What exactly are these resources that Better Bets has put forward for GBV victims that could possibly be within your workspace?
So firstly, I mean, there are many organizations. The ones that I'm about to mention are just a few of them. But the ones that we are working with, the first one is Wise for Africa. They do incredible work in lodging for constitutional changes and also offering legal support to women. And so we've entered into an agreement for them to also, in addition, provide that additional support to our staff. We're also making it known to staff that the support is available to them. The other organization we're working very closely with, and I highly recommend them, is Father a Nation. Now, Father a Nation are reaching out from a different angle. They're reaching out to men to say, how can we be better men? How can we rather use your strength for good, for love, and to protect, to be nation builders? They've developed courses, they've got workshops in place, all towards helping equip men to be nation builders. And that is one of the things that we're currently rolling out in our stores as well with all of our staff. We've made Wi-Fi accessible. We've even given staff dedicated time in the day to do the course because we believe so much in it.
And with those courses, Smita, what sort of feedback have you received from the men who are taking these courses? Because I'm sure you would need to know what impact it has on the people that you intended to be.
Yeah, I've already had some feedback where it's come highly recommended. They say that essentially what it does is it makes them just want to be a better person in their family life, in their communities, in their workplace, just an overall holistic view of how to be a better citizen. There's also an element where you're required to have a mentor. So you have to reach out to somebody, a friend, someone you trust, to be your mentor, to help you, to guide you. And that's all incredible work being done by Father Nation. They've really been doing a great job, and I really recommend that as a way forward for businesses, for corporates to implement that in your companies.
And that certainly was my last question in terms of how would you rather implore other companies to take on such initiatives, to be the ones that can be that safe haven for women and men that are experiencing GBV within the workplace?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, firstly, yes, create a safe space. Let it be known through your internal comms processes that these are the initiatives, these are the people that you've put together, the organizations you've put together, and that you are approachable. Let it be known to the victims that this is a safe space. Secondly, donate your money. Businesses, we have a CSI, a budget that we have to spend. And even if it's just 1% that goes towards these GBV organizations and NGOs, it will go a long way. And third, bring in the professionals into your business. At the end of the day, you have a job to do. You have a business to run, and that is where your focus needs to be. So bring in the professionals from these organizations that offer free counseling, offer training, offer all of the support, legal support that's needed, and let them be part of your solution. Put together an SLA. These are some of the things that we've done within our business with the NGOs we're working with, because it all begins within. And if we want that message to move forward, start with your own people.
It certainly begins within that. Smita Narsi, thank you so much for sharing that with us and for your time. And it's a great initiative, especially that it is coming from an organization. That's Smita Narsi talking to us about the impact of GBV within the workplace and how employers can assist in curbing that crime.